The chill in the air was palpable as I trudged through the desolate forest, my breath forming misty clouds in the dim moonlight. I was lost, far from any recognizable trail, relying solely on the faint GPS signal on my phone to guide me back to civilization. The forest was eerily silent, save for the occasional rustling of leaves or the distant hoot of an owl. I had never been so alone, and fear gnawed at the edges of my consciousness. My phone buzzed in my pocket, and I fumbled to retrieve it, my fingers numb from the cold. The screen lit up with a text notification. It was from an unknown number, a string of random digits that made no sense. My heart skipped a beat as I opened the message, expecting it to be some kind of automated emergency alert. But the text was nothing like I had ever seen. It was a jumble of disjointed words and symbols, a bizarre and unsettling combination of letters and numbers that seemed to dance before my eyes. I stared at it, trying to make sense of the gibberish, but it was like a code from another world, a language beyond human comprehension. My pulse quickened, and a shiver ran down my spine. I had heard stories of strange messages appearing on people's phones, messages that foretold doom or madness. I had always dismissed them as urban legends, the products of overactive imaginations. But now I couldn't help but wonder if there was some truth to those tales. As I continued to stare at the incomprehensible message, a sense of unease settled over me. It was as though the forest itself had come alive, watching and waiting, and the message on my phone was a signal from some malevolent presence lurking in the shadows. I tried to shake off the feeling of dread, convinced that it was just my imagination running wild in the eerie silence of the forest. But then, my phone buzzed again, and I saw that the message had changed. This time it was clear and chillingly coherent. "I know you're lost," it read. "I can see you." My heart hammered in my chest as I scanned the darkened trees around me, searching for any sign of movement. There was nothing, just the stillness of the night. I considered replying to the message, demanding to know who was sending it, but a sense of foreboding held me back. I took a deep breath, trying to regain my composure. Maybe it was just a prank, I thought, or some kind of bizarre glitch. But the feeling of being watched persisted, and I couldn't shake the sense that I was not alone in the forest. I began to walk faster, my footsteps echoing loudly in the stillness. The forest seemed to close in around me, the trees towering overhead like ancient sentinels. My phone buzzed again, the screen lighting up with a new message. "I'm getting closer." Panic seized me, and I broke into a run, my heart pounding in my chest. The message was coming from an unknown number, but it felt as though the sender was right behind me, breathing down my neck. I stumbled through the underbrush, branches scratching at my face and arms. The forest had become a maze of shadows and twisted trees, and I had no idea where I was going. The text messages continued to come, each one more menacing than the last. "I can see your fear." "I'm almost there." The messages were relentless, and they echoed in my mind, driving me deeper into a state of terror. I had no choice but to keep running, to keep putting distance between myself and whatever was pursuing me. But as I sprinted through the darkness, a new message appeared on my phone, one that sent a shiver of dread through me. "I see you." I glanced down at the screen, my heart in my throat. The message was accompanied by a photo, a dark and grainy image of me taken from behind as I ran through the forest. I could see the fear etched on my face, the terror in my eyes. My legs gave out, and I tumbled to the ground, my phone slipping from my grasp. I lay there in the darkness, gasping for breath, knowing that I was trapped, that there was no escape. The forest seemed to close in around me, and I could hear the soft whispering of leaves and the faint, distant laughter of a child. And then the final message appeared on my phone, a single word that sent a chill through my soul. "Found." I never saw what found me that night in the forest, but I could feel its presence closing in, a malevolent force that hungered for my fear. I was never the same after that night, haunted by the memory of those messages and the terror that had pursued me through the darkness. I had thought I was alone in the forest, but I was wrong. There are things out there, things that lurk in the shadows, waiting for the opportunity to strike. And when they do, there is no escape, no way to outrun the darkness that follows.